Hello, I'm Skeleton. I've hit Radiant countless times on multiple agents, and I've also peaked rank 1 on Europe. I am an experienced coach and player, and I'm basically just here to help you learn everything you need to know about Valorant. Okay, so we're going to be looking at Chamber on Split. Now, obviously, Cypher's really good on this map, Killjoy's pretty good, but Chamber's pretty fun, and I think if you're running him with a double Sentinel, I think he's viable. Like, there's a lot of good stuff you can do in Chamber, and I mean, if you just like Chamber, if you're a Chamber 1 trick, or you just want to know some stuff, then this video should be able to help you. Now, when looking at Chamber, where you want to be placing your trip is either on B Heaven, so you want it to be like around here, or you want your trip to be, like covering vent. Right? You want to be covering a mid low. So yeah, either heaven or vent. Now, obviously, you're gonna want to use the vent one if you're playing towards the left side of the map, and the right one if you're playing towards the right side of the map. Now, you want to be changing your position around a lot. You want to be AWPing, and as always on Chamber, you want to be trying to get the early entries. So we'll start off on B, some stuff you can do, and then we'll go to B Heaven, A Heaven, and then A site for defense. So for B, something I really like to do is, you can play like an off angle like this, right? So you can just sit up here, hold the off angle, kill one, TP. You can TP back here, but obviously you might get spammed, you might get naded. Once you've TP'd, you're stuck, right? So your TP here is just a lot better, in my opinion. This TP in general is good because, let's say no one comes, so you drop, right? You can play around this TP, you can play like a nice off angle like this. Obviously you can just kind of hold, or you can just play, on top like this, you can hold this angle, play somewhere weird if you want, like that. Or of course, you can just play backside. So TP in general is good. You can TP and you have enough time to like get behind this box, if they're coming pretty fast. So yeah, it's a nice TP. If you want a safer TP, maybe you want to just play on site, something like this does work, but I can't say I really do that. If you are playing B, you want to be trying to put some pressure on B main. Obviously you don't want to be peeking B main every single round, you're going to get countered, but in general, maybe on pistol round, or if you're on an eco round, this is a good fight for the headhunter. Obviously it's flat ground, like pretty easy shot, you can kind of pre-fire it. And yeah, if you're peeking with the AWP, what I like to do with the AWP is, if you're feeling confident, obviously you can just insta-peek. The way that I like to peek this is I will usually pre-aim this, because a lot of people, when they're holding B, they're kind of holding like this. So when you're holding like this, obviously they will have an AWP. They're holding like this, and you peek this angle. You're actually peeking a little bit wider, so you're going to be peeking like this, and you peek past their. They can see here, right? When they're holding this angle, they can see here, but you're peeking here, so you're actually not on their line of fire. So peeking it a bit wider and pre-aiming this is better than taking this fight, because it's a little bit coin flip in my opinion. So just something to keep in mind. Obviously you could do both, but if I am peeking it, I usually peek a little bit wider. Obviously you have your TP to get out. Now the good thing about this TP, which is why I love Chamber on Split, this is one of the big reasons, is say we peek it, right? We don't see anyone. You have a TP that follows all the way up here, so you can push in deep like this, and you can just hold. You can just post and keep pushing if you want. You can play like an off angle like this, and let's say they go 5 mid and they go 5 in B Heaven. The first thing you want to do is pick up this TP, because if you don't, they're gonna know you're in B main. So if you hear them in B Heaven, maybe your trip goes off, just pick your TP up. Make sure there's no one coming late, and then if they're planting the bomb, if they're on site, you have like a late flank basically. You can be really annoying in this position, and you can kill a lot of people. So contesting B main is super strong, and yeah, that's kind of how you want to be playing it. If you don't see anyone, just push, take the space. You can do this with a vandal, you can do it with your pistol, or obviously a not. And yeah, that's how I like to peek B main, play B main. If you really want, you can put your TP there, but then you're stuck. You kind of want to keep your TP on this side of the site, right? So you can get out if they're doing a fast push, something like this. There's always off angles you can play, like you can maybe play up here, but usually, you might get flashed, but you can play like an off angle, like up here. But the problem with this off angle is it feels like an off angle. If you kind of play like on this corner, then it's more of an off angle. Whereas, you know, if you're playing, you know, because no one's walking out and clearing like this, but people are walking out and clearing rafters, right? So you don't want to be here, you want to be on that side of the box if you're going to be playing up there. B in general is pretty like self-explanatory. If you want a safe TP, you know, maybe they have a killjoy ult, something like this. You know, you can put your TP in spawn, and what's really good about this TP is you can play on this box. It's like a super weird off angle. Again, you know, think about the enemy's POV. You're peeking out backside, and there's a guy up there. Pretty hard to deal with. So it's actually a really nice angle. You can play this angle if you put the TP on site as well, right? But this is just good if you want to play a little bit safer. I do use this one sometimes, even though I don't like to play safe. If you're peeking mid, obviously you have two options. You have mid and you have vents. So you have mail and you have vents. The TP I use a lot is this one. Mainly just because, you know, you can put it here, and I will put it here sometimes. But if you TP here, right, again, you're kind of stuck. Like, if they're coming super fast on mid, maybe they're just running it down, raise satcheled early, sky flashes, maybe they breach stun this, you know, you're a bit stuck. So this TP's a little bit safer, you know. Obviously it gives you less space, but it is safer. Now, what this TP allows you to do is obviously you can play mail with it off, and at the start of the round you can also play, I know this looks troll, but you know, say you play mail, right, you don't see anyone. So you're like, right, okay, and you clear mid, and you can just kind of like tuck in this corner, and it's an off angle, you know. Again, maybe this guy like peeks, thinks mail's clear, and you're just kind of playing around here. You can aim here, you can flick. It is there, you know. With this TP, it does just give you a little bit more on mid, right? So you know, you can play around here, and it does give you a little bit more. So it's really up to you and how the enemies are playing, where you want to put your TP. Both work, and both are pretty good. Vents, I usually put my TP here. Again, you know, like if you put it here, maybe you get raised naded and it breaks. You know, let's say you put your TP here, right, and you're pushing, you're playing behind this box, or you know, you're kind of playing like this. They nade this, your TP breaks, now you're stuck. So you know, why not put your TP down here? Just a lot safer, and you know, it gives you a quicker rotate. Maybe they're rushing A. It's not much quicker, but it is quicker. And again, you know, if you want to peek mid, that's usually the TP I'd do. For ramps, I see a lot of people just slap the TP here. What I'd usually do is I'll just put mine here, and it gives so much more space. You know, instead of putting it here, put it there, and you can basically play like all, you know, very, very wide. You know, you can put it on top, and it gives you a little bit more space. But then if you do TP, you know, you're open to vents. So probably better to just keep it lower. That's where I put it. And then yeah, if you're playing ramps, obviously you can play on the box, you can peek, you can play a little bit wide, like on an off angle. You've got like a pretty good range here to play ramps. And then even if you do want to play here, you know, you can peek out wide, kill one, TP. It's good stuff. Another TP I see a lot of people doing is they just put it here. You know, this one's good because, you know, you can kind of peek main if you want. You can play the planter, play close. You can play like far back on an off angle. You know, maybe you're just rotating. You know, your teammate might say, "Oh, maybe it's B," and then he's going, "Oh, it's a fake B." You know, this TP is good for peeking ramp. It's good for retaking. It's just an overall like good TP, and it's actually pretty safe, right? Like, look, if you TP, you're not that open. Like, this guy can maybe see you a little bit. Obviously, this guy can, but that's if they are that close. You know, you're gonna have to like be aware. But yeah, this is pretty good. Maybe, you know, you need to play A. You can put one here, or you can put one. Well, so this one, you know, is like okay because like if it's here again, you know, you can kind of escape a little bit more. If they're coming super fast on aim, maybe they don't have smokes, something weird. Maybe they just didn't smoke CT for no reason. You know, you're not stuck on this side. That's quite like a specific thing, but yeah. This one is in general just a lot better for playing sight because you can play like out here. You can peek if you want. And yeah, you can just kind of play sight. Like, again, don't be scared to not stand in your TP. As long as it's near you, you know, you can always run towards it. So like, you know, you can maybe fight the guy main, and then you play inside your TP. You know, you don't have to like always be. I feel like some chambers are like locked within this range and they just do not leave it. So yeah, make sure to not be scared. If you peek in main and you've got an op or something, I usually just put it here, and then, you know, just peek into main. You can obviously play up here on an off angle. You can even play on screen on an off angle. That's for the chamber TPs on defense, that's it really. That's what you need to know and what you should really be applying. Just don't be scared, go for the op picks and try to get some entries, because at the end of the day, you know, you don't have much util. Is, you know, you've got a trip, so you need to get an entry, you need to put some pressure or do some damage, or get a flank, you know, maybe you peek him in, you don't see anyone, so you push through, that type of thing. It's stuff that's super important when you're playing chamber, because let's be honest, he's not the strongest agent in the meta right now, so you need to be pumping the gas a bit. Now on attack, usually obviously the barrier is around here, so I always put my TP here if I'm fighting B. I'll usually I like to hold like this, or what I'll do is I'll hide. So if I'm holding B main, I'm on my own, and I know they're fighting B main a lot, I'll actually just hide like this for 2 to 5 seconds, and then I'll peek out wide, right? So you just wait a little bit, then you peek, because this guy here, you know, maybe he starts walking up, maybe he's you know, he's holding here, because if no one's peeked on this side at the start of the round, you just kind of assume it's clear, so you're more focused on here, and then you can just peek out wide. It's probably not the wisest decision if they have an op, but yeah. And the reason this TP is really good and why I like it is because you can get up here. So say you've lurked through B, maybe they smoke B main, right? So, and you know, you just kind of crossed, and you can just stand up here on an off angle. It's so weird. And if their smokes are bad, you know, you can see, say he put his smoke a little bit too far to the right, you can see over the smoke sometimes and you can get a pick. Or you can just, you know, even if you're spamming from up here, usually you don't get spammed back. If you're spamming from here, like I've died so many times through the B main smoke when I'm trying to spam. So yeah, this TP is just better in my opinion. And where you want to put in your trip, you can just slap it down here. And that's the same if you're playing mid. Now your TP for if you are playing mid, I will leave if they're contesting mid, I'll put one here just to like take the space. But the best TP is actually this one. If you can get out on mid, this TP is super strong. You know, obviously you can walk up, and then when you're taking B heaven, it follows you, up into heaven, right? So it covers a good like bit of ground, and the most important bit of ground when you're taking mid, you know, you need to make sure you're clearing mail, clearing heaven. And you know, if you do TP, you know, you're pretty safe. And say like maybe you killed the vent guy, okay, and you know there's quite a lot towards B. So your team are rotating through vents, you TP, and now you have like a mid lurk. You could literally just sit on mid, maybe hold for the rotate, or you can you know, just try find the timing, something like this. It kind of takes you off of the map. So yeah, it's pretty good TP. For A, the one I usually do, most people do this one, is obviously make sure there's no one peeking ramp, just put your TP there, and this just covers you, you know, as you're rushing it, you know, and all the way to here. So you know, you can get on A site, put like this, maybe you kill one, TP out, and you can hold the flank. Probably want your trip like that. The reason you don't want your trip here, so many people, again, they'll put the trip in like a corner. It allows them to be able to, you know, peek in a little bit. Like if your trip is here, the second they get up this rope, the trip's going off. If it's here, then it just gives them a little bit of space. It's the same as like on Ascent on B-main that I showed in one of my other videos. You want your TP to be getting you that info as early as possible, especially if you're hitting A. You don't want this guy to be creeping up on you, especially if there's another guy fighting ramp. You know, you want to know, right, he's there, I need to fight this guy ramp. Like right now, I need to fight him. So getting the info as early as possible is super strong. You know, maybe you forgot to put your trip down, or you just, maybe you have a cipher, you know, you have another sentinel. A great way that you can use your trip is you can just throw it up here like this, and this will just clear like the whole of ramp. Same here, maybe there's a smoke, you know, you can just like throw your trip out, put it close. You can use it as a drone as well. It's not just a matter of using it to watch flanks, you can use this to clear space. It's really good to clear space. So try implement that in your games as well, especially taking ramp. Like this trip is really good. And the second you've cleared it, you can just pick your trip back up. Like you could just run up here like this. Okay, you know ramp's clear, you pick your trip back up, you wait like, I think it's like 30 seconds, and then you've got a trip again. You know, you can faff around for 30 seconds, hold, and then maybe they smoke ramp because they know you've taken it, and you've probably got your trip again by the time you've messed around and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really what I suggest for chamber on split. Obviously, chamber's a more basic agent, so you can't go into like super in-depth detail. If you are playing a sentinel on attack, make sure you're lurking, make sure you're trying to find entries and find space and timings for your team. On chamber, the good thing is with his TP, if you do want to go with your team, then you can basically play him like a duelist. So there is that. Especially on split where there's not as much opportunities for lurks and stuff, because people might be running Sage, Cypher, Sage, Killjoy, especially in ranks, people love to pick Sage, so mid's covered and the site's covered, so there's not really anywhere to lurk, and in that case, Chamber's gonna be wanting to go with the team. Anyway, yeah, that's Chamber on split. Yeah.